Alright everyone, we are back with another episode of Fixing Your Tier List. In today's episode we meet a familiar face, that of Mr. Schlatt himself. Last time around we fixed his cereal tier list in the inaugural episode of the series. Today we're fixing his chip tier list, a true tier list classic. Will Schlatt beat out his score from last episode or disappoint us once again? Let's find out. 47 different types of chips were listed in his tier list, but we're going to cut that down a little bit as some entries are not available where I'm from. In total we have 31 chips to choose from and 31 chances for us to make adjustments. Alright, let's go. Starting off with baked Lay's, honestly not too bad. It takes away from the greasy mouthfeel of regular Lay's while providing a nice crispy bite. The flavor may be bland but not the worst one out there. B tier for baked Lay's. Next we have Bugles. I can't remember the last time I had Bugles as they are nothing special and don't stick out in my mind. I don't even see these that often at the grocery store or convenience store, so maybe they just aren't popular up north. Regardless, they are a D tier chip at best. Next up are original Ruffles. Ruffles may be one of the best chips when it comes to mouthfeel, and the ridges are so nice to bite on. Original chips can only be so good due to a lack of flavor, so Schlatt actually got this one right. B tier for original Ruffles. Next we have cheddar and sour cream Ruffles. Not a huge fan of this flavor. The artificial cheddar flavor is certainly questionable, but it's still a Ruffles brand chip, so pretty good. I can only really give this one a C tier, so that's where it will go. Next up are Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I personally don't like spicy things, and these ones are way too much for me to handle. The spice is way too overpowering, completely killing the enjoyment of eating these. D tier for these kinds of Cheetos, and another point for Schlatt. Next we have Crunchy Cheetos. Very solid chip, but I only really eat them if I'm craving them, which isn't that often. When the cravings do hit, I can only really eat a few handfuls until the artificial cheese taste is too much and throws off my appetite. They aren't bad by any means, but if you can't binge on them, are they really that good? C tier for these ones and another point on the board. Next are Cheeto Puffs. The Puffs version of Cheetos are so much better. They're so light and fluffy and you can eat an entire bag without even realizing. The mouthfeel isn't great on these ones, but the binge factor definitely bumps up its rating. I'll put them in the B tier for now. Next we have Doritos Cool Ranch. My favorite chip flavor growing up. It slowly faded away throughout the years as I try new things, but I will always love it. Doritos make some of the best chips, but maybe I just ate too many of these growing up and have lost my appreciation for them. Still a solid chip though, so B tier for Cool Ranch. Next up are Doritos Nacho Cheese. Easily the best chip in existence. The flavor is spot on, the chip shape is perfect, the crunch is impeccable, and overall you can never go wrong eating these. My favorite chip for now and probably forever. This one goes into the S tier. Next we have Doritos Spicy Sweet Chili. These chips are the perfect mix for someone who likes a giddy feeling of sweetness mixed with the intense flavor of spiciness. For me this is the perfect balance of the two, but my mouth can only handle so much stimulation until it needs some water and I need to take a break. Regardless, these are an A tier chip. Next we have Lay's Barbecue Chips. Lay's is one of my least favorite chip brands as I find them too greasy and fatty, but they have some decent flavors. Barbecue's not bad, but it's not a chip I would seek out and eat if there were other options, so it's a C tier chip at best. Next we have Lay's Cheddar and Sour Cream. Just like Ruffles, this flavor just isn't that good. Add in the fact that Lay's aren't great and you get a D tier chip on a good day. Next we have Lay's Classic. Honestly, for a classic chip, it's not that bad. This is what people in the 1900s probably thought chips were all about. Not bad, but not great. C tier for Lay's Classic. Next we have Lay's Salt and Vinegar. Salt and vinegar is one of the worst flavor combos ever. How does the saltiness of salt and the acidic taste of vinegar make any sense as a pairing? Schlatt made a good call on this one, so F tier for these chips. Next up are Lay's Sour Cream and Onion. Sour Cream and Onion is my personal favorite chip flavor of the Lay's brand, and these ones I actually like. It's nothing too crazy, but an enjoyable chip nonetheless. B tier for these ones here. Next we have Pringles Cheddar and Sour Cream, a very odd flavor combo that really doesn't do it for me, it just tastes off. I wouldn't recommend this one, so D tier at best. Next up are Pringles Cheddar Cheese. This one is nothing to rave about, but I'd eat it if someone offered it to me. By no means would I willingly go out and buy these. These ones can also go into the D tier for now. Next we have Pringles Dill Pickle. I'm not a huge dill pickle guy as I find it to be off-putting flavor, and even with a great crunch and bite of Pringles chips, it's not enough to justify the flavor. D tier for these ones too. Next up are Pringles Original. These ones are pretty good as you get to enjoy the mouthfeel and bite of a Pringles chip, which is super unique and super enjoyable. Even without flavor, these ones taste pretty good, so B tier for Pringles Original. Next we have Pringles Sour Cream and Onion. Mixing a great chip profile of Pringles with an elite flavor like sour cream and onion results in an excellent chip. I love this one as my go-to flavor when I want some Pringles. S tier for this spectacular chip. Next we have Pringles Salt and Vinegar. Even an amazing Pringles chip isn't enough to save this absolutely awful flavor. F tier for this one. Next up are French Onion Sun Chips, a chip I haven't had in so long but an absolute classic. Super tasty, and Sun Chips have a very unique and enjoyable texture and crunch to them. Easy B tier for these ones. Next we have Garden Salsa Sun Chips. Just like French Onion, the feel of this chip is what really grabs your attention, but the taste is what keeps you coming back. Super yummy chip flavor, this one goes into the A tier. Next we have Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips, one of the only brands that makes a solid cheddar chip. These are my go-to Sun Chips when I see them in a vending machine, and I'm pretty sure they're used in party mix bags as well. Very solid chip indeed, A tier for this flavor. Next we have Original Sun Chips. Pretty solid chip, but the lack of flavor can only go so far. Still, if you love the mouthfeel of this chip brand, this one's the one for you. Decent chip overall, so B tier for this one. Next are Tostitos Scoops. These chips with a dipping sauce or with salsa are a completely different story, but on their own they're a little too bland for my liking. Still, the shape is very interesting and unique, so they can settle for the C tier today. Next we have Fritos, a very interesting kind of chip with a flavor I can't really describe. They're pretty yummy, and I enjoy having them every now and then. Nothing too out of the ordinary, so B tier for Fritos. Next up are Takis. I personally don't love Takis. The flavor is overrated, the chip itself is a super weird shape, and the mouthfeel just isn't there. I don't see the hype with these, so D tier for these ones. Next are Veggie Straws. Veggie Straws are in a league of their own. Even without a bold flavor or super unique mouthfeel, they're just so addicting, and once you start eating them, you just can't stop. These bags go by quickly in my house, and for a good reason. A tier for Veggie Straws. Next is Smart Food Popcorn. It may not be a chip, but it's tasty beyond belief. The white cheddar flavoring is so good, the popcorn itself is popped to perfection, and the binge factor with these ones is crazy. I'll be the first to admit that I've eaten an entire full-size bag of these on multiple occasions. These have to go into the S tier today. And last but maybe least, we have Funyuns. Pretty overrated in my opinion, the taste is nothing special and the mouthfeel is alright. Not something I would go out and buy, but I'd try it if it was there. C tier for Funyuns today. And there you have it, we fixed Schlatt's chip tier list. Overall, Schlatt finished with a score of 13 out of 31, or roughly 42%. A decent improvement from his previous score of 33% on the cereal tier list, so props to him. I hope you're enjoying the series as there is plenty more to come, so stay tuned for the next episode of Fixing Your Tier Lists.